I think it's going to be a huge adjustment. I mean, he's going to be playing against grown men, and he's going to have to guard those guys on the other end also, which is going to bring him into foul trouble.
I want to go at Reggie a little bit. He talks about he's never seen a guy like Wembanyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bobo.
Well, it took exactly 48 hours for Victor Wembanyama to make Shaquille O'Neal look like a fool. And if there's one thing Shaq can be happy about, Victor Wembanyama is going to make a lot of people look foolish throughout his career. Because in just Game 5 of his NBA career, Wemby went into Phoenix and outplayed both Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, putting up 38 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, and oh yeah, finishing as a game-high plus 21. And this was only 2 days after he did this to the Suns.
Goes right by Durant.
But forget about that for a second. The most impressive part of Wemby's dominant 38-point performance was how he closed it out. After San Antonio led for the entire game, Phoenix went on a surge.
Touch pass, KBD, corner 3. Yes, sir! We are tied at 116.
That's when Wemby took over. He started by getting post position here. Watanabe is forced to help over and foul him. 20 seconds later, again he has his back to the basket. He quickly faces up, leaning into KD and drawing the foul. But it was much more than just free throws. With the game still separated by 1 possession, Collins gets doubled on the baseline, so Wemby makes a smart cut. And pause here. There's no way he should be able to dunk this against a good shot blocker, right? Well, Wemby does what only he can do, using his Inspector Gadget arms to reach around Eubanks and place it in. But the Wemby experience means that you have to deal with him dunking on you 5 feet from the basket, whilst also having to step out and guard him 30 feet away from the rim, as Eubanks found out.
Wow. My goodness.
And just because he could, with the game pretty much over, he cut to the free throw line and put Phoenix to sleep with a jumper off the catch. In the space of 4 minutes, with all the momentum in Phoenix's favor and his team without their leading scorer, Wemby went 3 of 4 from the field and 2 of 3 from the line, outscoring Phoenix by himself. But for anyone who's been watching Victor this season, this kind of fourth quarter wouldn't surprise you, because 5 games into his career and he's already making an argument for clutch player of the year. Right here are the top fourth quarter scorers in the NBA 5 games into the season, and next to them is the field goal percentage. As you can see, as far as scoring with volume and efficiency, Wemby is in company with the likes of Paul George and LeBron James. And it's this fourth quarter scoring that has led San Antonio to a 3-2 start. Because if you go back to the Spurs' first win of the season, it was the exact same thing. With the game on the line, Vic completely took over, which included making Jabari Smith Jr. question if this basketball thing is really for him. I mean, look at the face-up, jab, spin, and then just throwing it down. That was one of 3 plays down the stretch against Jabari that made me and everyone else watching collectively shake their heads. But before we talk about that, if anyone wants to know why this game, of all games, was Victor's official coming out party to NBA fans, there was one major reason. Are you ready for it? The San Antonio Spurs players realized he is very tall. Yes, you heard me. And when I say that, it's plays like this. Wemby gives the handoff to Jones. Collins sets the back screen on Eubanks, and newsflash, throw the ball anywhere near the rim, and Vic will go get it. Or how about here, where he has Eric Gordon on him in the post? Yeah, I'd say that's a good idea to throw it in his direction. But my personal favorite play from the night was none of the plays I've already mentioned. Wemby brings the ball up the floor. Branham sets a screen and flares out to the 3-point line. So Wemby gives it up and immediately recognizes the space in behind with Eubanks switching out top, so calls for the ball back and effortlessly throws it in. And this is one thing about Vic. He's an active mover, which is why it was so frustrating watching him those first few games get ignored consistently. He's someone that works hard to get into position, and when you have his combination of physical gifts, IQ, and work ethic, well, you get 38 points, 10 rebounds, and a best player on the floor performance against 2 of the best players players in the league, but I promised I'd show you guys why his fourth quarter performance was no fluke, and Game 2 against Houston should have been a major warning to the entire NBA. Not only did Wemby make Jabari Smith Jr. look like a child on multiple possessions offensively, but as I mentioned, Victor Wembanyama has an 8-foot wingspan and is already one of the best defenders in the NBA. Well, this play will show you exactly why. The Rockets get the ball on the fast break. Wemby is the furthest defender back, so he initially turns his body to face Jalen Green. Green gives it up to Jabari Smith, and this is where it gets crazy. Wemby turns, and pause here. At this point, Jabari is in stride, ready to elevate, whereas Wemby hasn't even got his feet set, so he swivels a bit more, and with Jabari at full extension, he blocks the shot. Everyone was so focused on the block and the apex, but look at the floor. Look at the difference in elevation. The ball then falls to Jabari, but like a big brother playing with his little brother, Wemby won't even let him get the second opportunity, swiping that away as well. And it's Wemby's wingspan and timing that makes his defensive potential unlimited, because in a league full of freak athletes, timing is everything. However, Wemby is so long, pause, that even if his timing is off or the other player seems to have an insurmountable advantage, he still makes the play. Sometimes he doesn't even have to leave the floor. Again, like a big brother playing with his little brother in the park, Wemby just snatches the ball out of Allen's hands on this drive. I mean, we're only a few games into this season, but we've already seen him block numerous jump shots, like here where he digs at Gordon's initial drive. The Suns swing the ball, and once again, he is able to help off Durant to block Allen's shot without even really jumping. And the real cheat code here is normally bigs are afraid to contest threes, because if Allen pump fakes, he can get to the rim. But Wemby is so long that he wasn't even fully committed to that block. So if Allen were to drive, his potential to disrupt the next shot or pass is still there. It's this exact reason why you saw the Dallas Mavericks doing this to prepare for this freak of nature on the defensive side of the floor. The stats back this up as well, because yes, it's a very small sample size, but so far with Wemby on the floor, the Spurs have a 105 defensive rating versus a 132 defensive rating with him off it. And it's easy to see why the difference is so drastic. For starters, he's one of 5 players in the NBA averaging over 2 blocks and 1 steal per game. Those other names you might ask, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, Herb Jones, and Chet Holmgren. But even when he's not getting blocks, he alters so many damn shots. Like here where Booker gets the screen. He drives, Wemby initially helps off to stop a layup, and then he's able to contest Watanabe's shot in the corner. I'm sorry, but look at the freeze frame of Wemby throwing his hands up. How can you not be affected by that man jumping at you? And this is what makes him a generational prospect. Yes, I'm talking to you, Shaquille O'Neal, because even if he wasn't capable of scoring 38 points and dominating teams down the stretch, defensively, his combination of timing, fluidity, and just otherworldly length is unlike anyone else in the NBA. Now, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, you might as well drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Have a great day. Bye.